Okay. Let's have a word, Gemini. Let's have a word. Forget this for a moment. That's the underlying energy. Do you see how beautiful and amazing this energy is? We have justice. We have the Three of Cups. That's networks of love and support. Nine of Cups, the wish card in your bloody present. King of Wands, love this energy. Ace of Cups coming up there. And yet, the underlying energy for the week is, can I do this? Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is where we're telling, oh, I can't do it. You know, this is that little shitty little voice in our heads that's always telling us, you're too old, you're too young, you don't know enough, you're this, you're that, you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too whatever. You know, that's this. I can't do anything because I'm not enough, because of whatever. Now, I talk about this a lot. Our fears and doubts, I'm not one of those people that says, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And in fact, if you're Gemini, you guys like things to be quick information. If you're going to take one line from this reading, it's feel the fear and do it anyway. Do it anyway. Because this is all that I can't. There's nothing I can do. And you might come into the week thinking nothing's changing, nothing's shifting. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. No, you are not. No, you are not. So, like I was saying, you know, our fear is, it's one of those things that human beings we've developed, you know, that whole fight or flight response. It's there to free us. You know, I mean, what do I mean by that? It's there to help us. If something frightening happens in a situation, if we just kind of stand around like gormless idiots, not reacting, we get eaten by the lion, right? We hear the rustling in the bush and it helps us. It's helped us to survive as a species. And yet in this modern day and age, we're still getting that kind of life or death response to things. I don't know what to do, or, you know, to that fear stuff that I can't do anything, I can't act. It's not life or death. You can try it, you can go for it. Now, whatever it is that you feel trapped in, the first bit of advice I would say to you with justice coming up here, who feels stuck in a contract? Because justice can be that, can be a contract. Well, there's a way of discussing this. There's a way of, you know, both parties coming to the table and discussing something that's going on here. Justice is the card for Libra. And yeah, you know, it can be to do with divorce or legal matters or, you know, breaking an alliance. But at its core, this is about two parties coming together, seeing both sides. Justice being done through the truth. Through the truth. So please just don't decide this. I mean, the thing with the Eight of Swords is swords are our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, and how we communicate them. There's no bloody communication here. This is just in your head. It's saying, no, 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 we're done. We're finished. There's nothing that can be done here. Well, justice would beg to differ and say there is something that can be done. But it involves both parties. And whether that's you and your boss, you and your partner, you know, you and the shop that you bought that faulty thing from, whatever, right? There is a way around this. But it involves people coming to the table and being open to discussing it. Now, I'm very much getting that sense of, I do feel this is to do with other people, your interaction with other people. Now that sounds obvious because we have people in our lives all the time, right? And all that. We always have that. But with the Three of Cups coming up in the past, that's your network of support, right? That's your community. That's your tribe. That's, this is one of the community cards. I see the Three of Pentacles as kind of community too. But maybe in the past, I don't know, have you compromised yourself to fit in? That's not a very Gemini thing to do, but you know, we all do it. We all have moments where we don't speak up or we don't do whatever because we want to fit in, right? We want to be the same as everyone else. Three of Cups, like I said, it's our community, it's our tribe, it's our family, it's our inner circle, it's all of those things. People that we love and support and that love and support us. Now, whatever it is that you were trying to achieve here or to do here, I feel like you did need love and support. Whether you got it or not, that's a different thing altogether. But the energy that's coming up as the past, last week, last month, last year, is the Three of Cups. Where, yes, you know, this is support. This is love. This is, I need those people to help me through this. I don't know if you need them anymore. Sorry to say that. Because you have the Nine of Cups coming up in the present. So first of all, you don't need to be a maths genius to realize that to go from the Three of Cups to the Nine of Cups, that's tripled. It's tripled. I want to go back to that Three of Cups for a moment, and we'll talk about this. It relates, don't worry. I know I kind of have a tendency to waffle on sometimes, but this relates to your message. It's part of your message. Three of Cups. It's all about spending time with our loved ones. And one of the things that I do when people ask me, how do I find love? How do I get into a relationship, a romantic relationship? I want to do that. I always say, go make some friends, go hang out with someone, go join a local community project, go do something like that. And they always turn around and say, no, I don't want more friends. I want a lover. That's how you get your bloody lover. How? Because it raises your vibration. It raises your vibration. Love doesn't know the difference. You don't manifest from your thoughts. It doesn't pick out and say that's your friend, so we'll get you more friends. All you manifest from is your vibration. So when you hang around with people that you love and that love you, it does raise your vibration. It gets you to that place to bring in what you want. I'm getting the sense, though, with the 8 of Swords coming up here, that, yeah, you needed that. You needed that in the past, but why? It kind of feels like what was once supporting you might actually be holding you back now. Are you still telling yourself that you need this? That you need those people? Because the 9 of Cups is your heart's desire. Out of this, whatever this was, and every stepping stone is worth it. It gets us to the next step. But we can't stay stuck anywhere. That's what this is saying. I'm stuck. You're not stuck. Tap into what's your heart's desire. Own your heart's desire. Ooh, I just got that. Have a look at this too. Some of you are not even admitting to yourself what your heart's desire is. I don't want to see it. I don't want to deal with it. I'm not going to do that. I can't do anything about it, so I'm not going to look at it right now. Bullshit, Gemini, bullshit. Because we have the 9 of Cups in your present. It's a wish card. It's your heart's desire. That's how you go forward here. What is your heart's desire? If this was a personal reading, I would clarify the shit out of that to find out, but there's so many of you, each of you has a different heart's desire, so it wouldn't make sense to do that. But think about it. Actually, we can get one to give you some advice about why you're not looking at your heart's desire. What's going on here? I get intrigued with readings like this. I'm a naturally inquisitive person, so I always want to know everything. It's always a puzzle to be solved when I do a reading. Why is that 9 of Cups under that 8 of Swords? Yeah, see? Bloody hell, Gemini. Your heart's desire. Why are you not fessing up to what your heart's desire is? Because we've got this. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it. I can't do anything about it, so I'm not going to do it. But you've just been called out by saying, well, no, that's not the truth. This is because of stress, anxiety, worry. Your fears and doubts that are keeping you from going for what you truly want. I'm getting a sense of safety here, that it's to do with safety. I'll play nice. I'll be all fair and balanced and connect and do whatever. Guess what, though? If you can embrace what your heart's desire is, you actually have the tools to get this done. You have the King of Wands coming up. Now, that's fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And yeah, there might be a fire sign coming in who, especially sitting under just that you work with a fire sign, or, this is who the compromise or whatever it is, the connection comes in with. But for a lot of you, I don't get that. What I'm getting is this is you. This is you. Do you think the King of Wands would accept someone saying to him, oh, you can't do that, or you can't have that? All he cares about is what he's passionate about. He's passionate. He's creative, and he pursues those passions. He pursues those, whatever he wants to create, he goes for it. He's entrepreneurial. He has these ideas. So I do get the sense for some of you, it's about breaking away from somewhere that, and a lot of signs are getting this kind of message of breaking away from what's safe. You can do things, step out, shine, I see the King of Wands as a celebrity, him and the Queen of Wands. Their place is in the spotlight. But it's this. Some of you, I don't know, it could be at work, like, you're in a contract and that kind of, one of those, what do they call them? NDAs, like non-disclosure agreements, or, non-competes or something like that. It could be that. But there's a way around this. Tap into your heart's desire. You're telling yourself there's no way out of this. There bloody is. Trust me on this. There's a way out of this. There's a way for you to shine. There's a way for you to go for what you want. But at least own that you want it. You're not even saying that you want it because you're thinking, what's the point? What's the point? There's no way out of this. There is. 9 of Cups says that. Your heart's desire. And the Ace of Cups says that too. Here. Because what's coming up for you is to be that King of Wands, guys. He's amazing. I think he's probably one of my favorite kings that comes up. Well, it depends on the situation. But I love the King of Wands. Because he doesn't understand. He kind of walks in. I always see, I don't know if any of you watch this, but you know Angel, Buffy and Angel. And there was a scene where Angel always walks into a room and he opens both doors. Like he throws both doors open when he walks in. And someone calls him out on it once and he says, do you always walk into a room like, you know, throwing open both doors like, to make that grand entrance? That's the King of Wands. He's there to be seen. Be seen, Gemini. I feel like saying that to you. Be seen for who you are. Not because you're, you know, the funny one or the one that's part of the group or doing whatever. Be seen for how fabulous you are. That's the King of Wands. That's the King of Wands. And have a look at that distinct difference that's coming in there. This would be you're part of the three, right? You're part of the group. And, you know, they have instruments here, which is very interesting to me because everyone's playing their own note. How do you make a song, but everyone's playing their own? Like, not all three people can play the same note. That's just a sound, then that's not music, right? But I kind of feel like for some of you it's time to shine on your own. You don't have to leave them behind. That's your crew, that's still your community, your tribe. But you can't deny yourself for the good of those. And have a look what comes up here. Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is a new beginning. It will make you happy. Whenever we begin a new cycle, it begins with an ace. No one hands us this cup. This is our cup. What goes in it is ours. And that's how we begin. That's how we take that opportunity, a new cycle that begins. You know, the Ace of Swords, my truth. The Ace of Wands, my inspiration. The Ace of Pentacles, my coin, my thing that I want to, the seed that I'm looking to sow to begin here. How do you feel? Look at your own happiness. Your own happiness. And it's very kind of heart over head. Yes, I did say that. This is your heart. What's in your cup? Going forward, you must know how you feel. And be happy. Don't let your happiness be dictated by everyone else. You can still be a part of them. That's not saying you have to leave anything. I'm not seeing people leaving here. I just feel like you're telling yourself that you can't when you can. You can. And I want you to own it. Are you saying you can't and blaming it on the other people? Or are you saying you can't because you're actually afraid to go for what you want? And that's legit. You know, that's fine. We all do that. It takes balls. It takes balls of steel to have that courage to go for our dreams. Because, you know, when it's a dream, it's nice. You know, one day I'll do that. One day I'll do that. For some of you, it feels like one day is now. 9 of Cups in the present. But yeah, there could be a partnership here. It's to do with a partnership. And I don't usually see justice like that. Fairness, balance, whatever. Have a look, right? It's balancing your fears and doubts, what I can't, with this. Because that's in between. Like, they're both looking either side of that. But what comes out of this is you.